If you're a fan of the TV show 24 and you've missed Kiefer Sutherland running around trying to solve problems, then you'll want to take a look at the new Paramount Plus Series Rabbit Hole. It's not quite Jack Bauer, but there's intrigue and an explosive premiere. I've watched the first 4 episodes, so how do they do? Nothing is what it seems when John Weir, a master of deception in the world of corporate espionage, is framed for murder by powerful forces with the ability to influence and control populations. As I said, this stars Kiefer Sutherland, but there's also Charles Dance, Meta Golding, Jason Butler Harner, Enid Graham, and Rob Yang. Now, Sutherland plays a dude named Weir who does a form of corporate espionage where he will be hired by Company A to disrupt or influence Company B in a negative way so that A can benefit, all while remaining completely anonymous and virtually undetectable. Now, one day, Weir is accused of murdering a government official, and his world then goes to crap. The episodes so far range from 45 minutes to 58 minutes, but they might be a bit longer than that if there are commercials included. There are going to be 8 episodes total, with the first 2 dropping at the same time, and then 1 each Sunday going forward. At first, I couldn't tell if this was going to be some sci-fi altered reality type of story because some of the editing is done in a way so that we see what Weir sees with these random clips of actions and events. And we don't have any context. So it was hard to tell if these are like some alternate version that he's witnessing or if it's just a processing thing. So far, there's no sci-fi element. It's more of a mystery with some very high stakes and a large amount of just impending peril. Now, the pilot, it starts off with a bang and then dives into the craziness, giving us more insight as each episode continues. While most of this is high drama, there is a bit of levity that's thrown in here and there. And for the most part, it really works. Now, typically, this comes about in the forms of sarcastic banter between Weir and this woman that he meets, Haley, who's played by Meta Golding. Now, they've got wonderful antagonistic chemistry, and the fact that neither can really trust the other makes for some fun interactions and scenarios. And while none of this has ever felt rushed, there is a very high, urgent intensity to the story. Now, Weir is racing against an unknown opponent who's framed him for murder, as well as just tossed his whole life into upheaval. And then with this, the pressure and the threats they're mounting. Now, it's fun when we as the audience don't know who to trust because our main character seems to be way out of his element and hung out to dry, and he doesn't know who to trust either. And then to add another layer of complications to the fray, Weir is constantly being hounded by an FBI agent who's with the Financial Crimes Division. She is hell-bent on getting incriminating evidence on Weir's business practices in order to arrest him. And so this thorn in his side with the FBI, it only makes dealing with the unknown threat that much more tricky, which then equals a lot of visual and story fun for us. Now, if you've watched my channel for a bit, you will know that I'm not always a fan of American television. And even though this is filmed in Canada, it is a US production. And I'm surprised to say that I have had a lot of fun watching the first 4 episodes. There's enough complexity that's included to just keep me guessing. And I was also surprised more than a few times during this, so it kept me engaged. And as soon as I think I understand where the story is headed, a new reveal comes, and it makes me kind of sit back in shock. And that's a great element to be able to just continue to drop bombshells and then have them be unexpected. Now, there is an ongoing theme of anxiety, which is where the name of the show comes from. Weir describes going down a rabbit hole where his anxiety and his stress took over, and he had great difficulty climbing out. Now, I like that we get to see a bit of growth and care even towards Weir as the story progresses. Sometimes it's giving us insight from flashbacks, and then other times as he encounters new situations and he has to adapt. Now, obviously, since I haven't finished the season yet, I don't know if it's going to stick the landing, but I do think that if the story can continue to include surprises and unexpected twists, the trajectory so far has it looking really good. This is thrilling and quirky and mysterious and funny, and it's all rolled in to a tense action drama. Now, the action isn't to the level of Sutherland's 24, but there are several situations that are suspenseful and stressful, creating urgent anxiety and a little discomfort as we watch the characters traverse into unknown territory against unknown enemies. Now, earlier I'd mentioned how some of the editing made me think that this was a sci-fi show, and even though it's not, I really like how the story is put together, crafting the narrative to create just emotional beats within the storytelling. Now, we'll watch some events play out in the present and then have a flashback to when Weir was young, giving us huge context as to why he acts or reacts as he does. And it also gives clues into his mindset, which allows us to see how he problem solves, which is something that's drastically important when all the crap is hitting the fan and his world is just crashing in around him. There's a puzzle aspect to the show also, and I really like that. But in episode, I think it was 3 or 4, I wanted to see more of a particular puzzle being solved. I mean, we see how Weir is using his memories to help, and we get to see and hear those conversations. But when it comes to visually showing us the steps as he works the problem, those are only flashed on the screen for just a second. Now, I know this is a minor nitpick, but for me, because the puzzle aspect is intriguing and it helps to illustrate how Weir's mind works, it would be nice to see him work through the problems instead of seeing him scribble on his pad. And we're not able to see much of the progression until it's actually complete. Now, I am excited to see where the show takes us, and also curious if it can maintain the momentum that it has established in the first half of the show. Overall, Rabbit Hole is an exciting and thrilling mystery, filled with intrigue and surprises. The story is complex, unveiling small clues only as necessary to maximize the curiosity, but also not so complex that it's convoluted or confusing. Sutherland is great as a cranky and stressed problem solver, and he's complemented by a talented cast who makes this an engaging watch. The show starts off with a bang, and if it can keep up the energy, this has the potential to be an explosive new series that will have everyone talking. There's no sex or nudity, a lot of profanity, and some very gruesome violence. I give episodes 1 through 4 of Rabbit Hole 4 out of 5 couches. So what are some mysterious shows that you enjoy watching? Let me know in the comments below. If you enjoyed this review, please give it a like. Also, don't forget to share and subscribe. I'm Chris. This is Movies and Munchies. Thanks for couching with me.